Hello and welcome to the Launch Live workshop. I am Sophie Riley. I am your host. I am so excited. Happy Monday. Let me know where you are tuning from. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay, see me okay, and let me know where are you tuning from. Hello, Rosie. It's so nice to chat. Let me know where you are. I am in Ottawa, and we got our first snow. It's like the crappy one that's probably gonna melt. It's like so the kids are excited. We're slightly less excited, but that is okay. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Regardless, thank you for letting me know that you can hear me perfectly fine in the chat. That is amazing. All right, so I'm just gonna close this here. Hamilton, Ontario. Hi, is it snowing there too? Yeah, Ottawa. Oh, hi, Mel. All right, so today I have some really exciting things for everybody. And this workshop is all about launching, but let me tell you something right now. If you're planning on getting a cookie cutter, launch plan, it's not what you're getting, because you know what, at the end of the day, that shit doesn't work. Okay, we cannot all follow the same plan. We are all different people. I really want to give you a really broad idea of what launching is and some really good tools that you get to choose and pick from. Think of this workshop as a Build a Bear workshop. I'm a mom, just roll with it, right? So you need to pick the perfect bear for you. If you're not in line with how your launch is going to go, if you're not in line on how you are going to sell, if you're not in line with the whole idea, at the end of the day, the chances of your launch to be what you dreamed of or to be successful are slim. But the reality is that you have everything that you need in you to be successful. So we are going to bring the absolute best of the best today, and the rest of the week we have over 25 speakers. It's going to be truly amazing. So let me know. Hello, everyone. So let me know in the comments, what are you the most excited about learning this week? Where are you in your business? When are you planning on launching? By the way, I love when people ask for help. Chances are, you ask anything, you'll get an answer, whether it's on this webinar or I'll send you an email after the workshop. So let me take you with what we're going to do today. So first, we are going to talk about human design. Now, I want to be honest with you, I'm a type of person who loves to take action. I don't slow down very often. And you talk to me about mindset and human design, and I usually will take a few step backs and I'll be like, are you serious? But some of these topics actually completely, including mindset, including human design, completely changed my business. So Rosie's saying that she's relaunching her craft business and trying to figure that out. Oh, that's amazing. I love craft, but I cannot do it. Actually, Mel is on. See how beautiful this is? So amazing. Hello, Larissa. Oh, from Toronto. That's so amazing. So we are all enjoying this crappy weather. Am I right? Well, I could be your ray of sunshine today, so that is all good. So we're going to touch on, like I said, I'm like a squirrel. I get distracted all the time. You guys just roll with this. So we're going to talk about human design and talk to you about how that actually completely changed my business. We're going to talk about intuition. How can you be the imposter syndrome? Listen, we all have been there, where we're thinking that we are so much smaller than we are, and we are going to kick that out right out of the park. Hopefully that's the expression. I'm French and I will screw up every expression on the planet. So you can correct me into the comments if I get this wrong. And then we're going to meet with Karen, who's all going to talk to us about being an authentic brand. And we're going to see, does that mean colors? Does that mean the font? Does that mean something else? We're going to see really soon. Something else that you should know about me: I can't match colors to save my life. So it's all good fun. I'm going to have a lot of questions here. We're also going to talk about how can you prepare yourself and show up to your launch with energy? You guys, I'm a behind the scene expert, and I have been behind the scene on a lot of launches, a lot of the big events, a lot of collaboration. And I have seen countless of entrepreneurs just going into full burnout and not launching. Because it was not the right plan for them. It was not maybe the right time. There was too many blocks that was not taken care of before the launch that, I'm not into burning out. I am against burnout. So we are really going to talk about how can you show up to your launch with energy, because if you show up on camera or through your launch and, you have a depression energy, I don't know how to say this, but or if you're monotone, or if you just don't have the energy to go through with the launch, to make those sales calls, to sell in the DMs, to sell through emails, to finish your funnels, it's not what we're about. This is supposed to be so much fun. And yes, at some point you kind of want to throw up, shit your pants because you're a little nervous. We all go through this. It's totally normal. Maybe too much information. It's all good. And then we're going to finish off the day with how can you make sure that your launch, that your business is also in an optimal place to launch. Because if it's not, you're going to get into some roadblocks. And then we're going to go into a workshop with me where I want to know, do you guys offer a freebie? Who here is growing their email list? So let me know where you are with creating a freebie. Let me know where you are with growing your email list. Now, listen, I know this is a free workshop. I'm not going to suggest that you start a giant email list that's going to cost thousands of dollars. All of my solutions are free. So do not stress. Do not worry about that. We are going to get into action probably around 12:30. We're going to have some Q&As with these speakers. So drop all your questions into the comments. And I am super, super, super excited. So let me know. Where are you in the comments? Let me know in the comments. Where are you with your email list? Okay, let's just have my click up. I'm just going to move it out of my comments. Here you go. Okay, so I would like to learn how to start up an email list. So you haven't started. This is going to be the perfect workshop because we want to make sure that your freebie is a killer freebie that everybody's going to want to sign up for that freebie. And we're going to set up the funnel step by step. Just at the beginning, learning to activating the concept of internet entrepreneurship. There is so much, am I right? There is so much stuff to learn, and I totally get it. So this is going to be a step by step, okay? All the techie side, behind the scene. So I got you. I'm almost done my quiz. Oh, I love quiz. Can I ask what your quiz is about, Steph? So you start my list, I have my newsletter plan ready to go. Oh, that's so exciting. So definitely stay into the workshop part because my purpose is that you accomplish so much this week, which means that quiz will be ready to launch and you will be ready to grow your list. So that is super, super exciting. I love quiz. Quiz is actually such an amazing way to grow your list. Who doesn't love like an awesome quiz? All right, you guys. So Kylie is here. We are going to say hi to Kylie. Hold on here. Hello, Kylie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm amazing. First of all, thank you for being here today. You guys, Kylie is a human design expert. And I want to start with a little, the first time I heard about human design, I thought it was sort of like witchcraftery, but in the sense that I was not happy with my results, right? So there was there was not a disconnect. When it's my French coming out here. there was some friction, right? Like I wasn't okay with the results. It took me I think 3 workshops to hear the same thing. And my business exploded. And this is like I've been talking about for like Okay, only 10 minutes. We've only been here 10 minutes. But you need to find the launch strategies that work for you, or you're amplifying the amount of failures that you're going to have, because you're not in line with your launch, you're not in line with how you're selling, you're not in line how your business is growing. And this often can actually end up in a burnout and exhaustion and not loving what you're doing. So I'm so excited, Kylie. Welcome.
Yeah, that makes me so excited and so amped, because like you said, there's strategy is always there, and that's something I'm going to touch upon today as well. But at the end of the day, you need to know how your energy actually fits into that, and how you can complement your strategy with your energy instead of like self-sabotaging.
Yeah, I love it. Do you want to start off with just for some of us, newbie, what is human design?
So design is like your energetic blueprint. It really goes down to kind of showing you what your subconscious as well as your conscious personality is. So a lot of things, like I come from a psych background, and I mean, if you look at psychometric testing, you would get the snapshot of your personality. But the problem is it's a snapshot of your personality in that like given moment when you took the test. You can probably take the same test and tomorrow you'll get a completely different result. Where with human design, what's really magical is it looks at first the opponent of astrology. So we look at your birth time and your birthplace. So you actually get a complete overview of what is your personality and your subconscious personality that remains fixed throughout your lifetime. It also then brings through components such as the I Ching, which is like a very old traditional like Chinese practice. Also looks at quantum physics, your chakra system. So it's almost like a holistic energetic blueprint that you get. And I like to explain it to clients if they feel confused about it. It really just shows us how we not only project our energy into the world, but how we can also receive energy.
That's so amazing. I will drop maybe in the comment in a few minutes a website they could take the test on. So I think I did mine on bodygraph.com. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That one's really good as well.
Yes. So which one do you use?
I use my Bodygraph, and then I use Jenna Zoe's one as well, just because I like that it simplifies it too. But I think my Bodygraph is a good one in general for people to dive into.
Yes. So I am still, guys, I'm still in the like very newbie trying to understand, little baby step. When something is new, you go at it, baby steps. So my results is I am a projector. So yeah, I don't know. Is this surprising? I'm not sure. So the one thing that I heard as a projector is that you need to be invited. You need to be invited. So something that has never worked for me is, hey girl, you want to do this? Selling into DM has never been my strong suit. And sometimes you see other people and you feel maybe envy, jealousy because something is working for them. But this is the base. Okay, this is the base of understanding why things work for you and don't work for other people, and vice versa. Because referral program for me worked really, really well. I built an almost 6-figure business in 8 months by referral, but I can't sell shit in the DMs. So just to give you an idea, right? I had to find what works for me. All right. So how can we use our human design to amplify attracting, right? Because I think that is the number one thing that we want. Nobody wants to launch to nobody, first of all. So how can we use our human design and attract the people to us in our marketing?
So I'd love to know, for those that are watching too in the chat, let me know what their human design is once they've gotten it down. So we need to look, I think, at human design. Like before we even dive into like the element of using your human design, there's two really important things. One is know your basics of launching. Like it's really important to know your basics well, like the strategy side. We always need the masculine to complement the feminine. And the second part is stop trying to do all the bells and whistles everyone else is doing, thinking it's going to be successful. Once you've got your basic strategy down, then start looking at human design. Because I think the biggest mistake people do is they want to go to human design as like a kind of fix me, but then they haven't gotten their basics done well. So once you've got your basics, which I know with this entire workshop series, you will be quite good to go, is then actually looking at, okay, the first thing is your type. So your type, you can kind of think is like your energy. It's your aura around you. Again, this is the predominant part of you of how you project energy into the world and how you receive it. We have 5 different energy types. The first one is your generator. We have 4. Your generator, I'm a manager, and we kind of fall under the same hat. As a generator, I think it's really important to realize that you are that working bee of society. You're able to do a lot of work. So for my generators, I find that usually when it comes to launching, you need to do the things that make you feel good. It's all about satisfaction. It's all about going in to be like, okay, but what feels good for me? Do I want to do a longer launch? Do I want to do a shorter launch? Do I want to, actually, what do I want to speak about? Generators also very much speak from the moment. Like, what does my audience need to hear right now? Where as a money gen, which is myself, my biggest advice to you in launching is you'll probably want to launch very quickly. We tend to like run very fast, but make sure that you don't skip important steps, because manifesting generators have that generator like workforce energy, but we're able to move very quickly. I say we're kind of the quantum leap experts of society, and it's because we're here to show people what it means to have a big business, what it means to have it all. So when you're launching, it's really important to look at, am I ticking all my boxes? Am I actually missing any steps? Because if you do that, you may launch very quickly. Like I've gone from idea on a Friday to launching on a Monday.
Oh my gosh.
It's worked because that's my money gen energy. But then it's important to make sure that you have a list set up for yourself of maybe like, okay, every launch I need to make sure I have welcome emails, payment links, what else could be like, I don't know, all the admin strategy things behind the scenes. Because we have that tendency to skip steps, and then it might cause you to do double the amount of work because you realize later along the line, oh shoot, I forgot this, or I forgot this. Then with my projectors, which I know Sophie's like, oh my God, yes, tell me more.
Yes, please.
Yes, a projector really loves a longer launch plan. And the reason why is projectors really need to be careful of their energy, because projectors can burn out really easily. I find that projectors, because everything moves so fast in the online space, my projectors and it's so funny, 90% of my clients are projectors. They always come to me and they're like, Kylie, I hate launching. And I'm like, okay, this is why. You've been forced to do things you don't like to do. And on top of that, we've got an emotional projector here. On top of that, you're being forced to move as fast as everyone else does. So it's really important for a projector to actually really lean in and be like, okay, do I feel like doing a 4-week launch plan, 3 weeks, 6 weeks? What feels good? And then actually getting the support. That's why I think it works so well for my clients that I'm a manifesting generator, because I'm able to give them that energetic support while they're like launching. Then we have our manifestors. I love manifestors. Manifestors are really here to be seen for all that they are. They're kind of your truth speakers of the world. I like to see them as these Buddhas on a hill, and they show us what it means to unapologetically step into our own authentic expression. And for manifestors, I always say during a launch, it's really important to look at, are you fully owning your truth? Are you fully owning all of who you are, like your superpowers to the core? Because projectors usually have this fear of being too much. So I always be like, okay, look into like, do you want to do like, I don't know, a 5-day extravaganza, like challenge party, and you want all the confetti, but you're like, I'm scared it's going to be too much. That's what you actually need to lean into, because your clients, your soul clients, are going to be so attracted to that, because that's what magnetizes your energy. And then on the flip side, my reflectors, which is quite far and few in the population, you guys are really about actually moving with the cycles of the moon. So it's really important for a reflector to look at your moon cycles and be like, okay, with the new moon or the full moon, where do I feel most activated? And how can I then pivot my launch according to those cycles?
That is so interesting. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if are you guys getting some really cool tips, because I am sure that everybody saw themselves even before doing the test in in some of the, the characteristics of each one. Now, sometimes during the launch, obviously now you all know I have these big launch that are like super long. This is so true. That's awesome. Okay, so what happens? How can we use our authority to pivot? Have you ever, I
Mm.
mean, I feel like everybody pivot at some point. You're getting through the market research, you're getting through what works. If you are really in tune with your launch, you're looking at what works, you're looking at what doesn't, and you're keeping all of the information coming in. And I would say that 90% of the launches will have a pivot, not always a big one. So
Mm.
how can we use our authority with our human design to pivot in our launches?
So I think that's really important, is to realize that in a launch, you need to be reading the room and seeing like, is your strategy working? What are you feeling called to do differently? So that you can bring ample success, because it's always really easy to map out like a very sexy launch plan on paper, but we need to remember we're dealing with humans and we're dealing with a social media algorithm. So we need to be innovative in that way to pivot our launch. So your authority then in your human design is really your decision-making compass, is the best way I can give it to people. It's how we all uniquely feel our gut. We all have a gut feeling, we all have that inner knowing, but it's just expressed differently. So we have a range of authorities. I think the biggest things, what is your authority, Sophie?
The authority? I'm not sure. I have to log in and
Ah,
check.
okay. Have a look what your authority is.
Yeah, let's see.
I'll do an emotional, I'll do mine, which is sacral, and I'll check in what your authority is, because there's a number of authorities. So the
Okay.
big thing we need to look at with your authority is it gives you that guidance on what you want to do. So I'm going to do a sacral authority first. A lot of managers have sacral authorities. I'm a sacral too. Your sacral authority is really that true gut feeling, but to the point where it's in the moment. So I will literally in the moment know, yes, that is me. Like, hell yes, I'm meant to do this, or hell no, this is not meant for me. It will just be in this moment. A lot of people around me will think that it's impulsive, because they'll be like, from one moment to the next. A really good example I can give is I went from one moment to the next. It was literally 2 days where I saw a mentor. I vibed with her energy. I was still like, what was I doing? I think I was literally taking a nap. About to take a nap. I saw one of her posts and I was like, I need to work with her. This instant hell yes. And she was like a
Seriously. Amazing.
but it was like this full body yes. And that's how our sacral works. It's this very in the moment yes. So if you've got a sacral authority, you can really like tune in and ask yourself yes, no questions. So it's like looking and being like, okay, Kylie, do I want to do a 3-day, like, do I want to do a free challenge before my launch? Yes or no? No. Okay. What do you want to do? Do you want to do a masterclass, like a free masterclass? Yes. Okay, amazing. Do you want to do your masterclass on human design or on energy work? Energy work. Okay, amazing. That's how you can literally like pivot with your sacral to see what you want to do. You'll also get in the moment like responses. Like, for example, when I'm in a launch, I'll literally in the moment be like, I have to speak about this right now, or have to create a story about it right now. And then it's got nothing to do with the like launch plan or the content I've mapped out. But that's the guidance I'm receiving in that moment for what my clients need to hear. And it's funny because it's that in the moment guidance where I go against the traditional blueprints I've created that clients then sign up to work with me because it resonates so much. So on the other side, an emotional authority is kind of the flip side of a sacral, is you don't want to really be making big decisions in the moment, because an emotional authority takes about like 24 to 72 hours to get like a full body yes. And in essence, your full yes will always only be an 80% surety. You'll never be like 100% yes, this is what I'm meant to do. You'll always have a little bit of a doubt. And it's simply because your emotional authority is connected to your like solar plexus or your emotional center. And the emotional center rides in waves. You have highs and lows throughout the waves. You're not just a constant emotion the whole day. So for my emotional authorities, when you're launching, it's really important to you to be like, okay, what feels good for me to do? What feels good in this moment? do I feel like you can literally ask yourself and be like, I think it's like, I can't see her name, who said she's an emotional projector, but you can like lean in and be like, you know what, like, does it feel good for me to do a free challenge? Notice how I'm not giving myself options. It's like, does it feel good to do it like a free challenge? You'd be like, yes. Okay. Does it feel good to do 3 days? No. Okay. Does it feel good to do 4 days? Yes, 4 days. Okay, let's do 4 days. And like, write your launch plan down, sleep on it, come back to it the next morning and be like, okay, does this still feel good? Are there any pivots I need to do? No, it still feels good. Okay, let's follow through with this. And that's how you can really then start connecting with your authority to use this during your launch.
Okay, so the authority would be mindset. Is it the inner authority?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The sounding board.
So you've got basically a self-projected authority, which is quite beautiful.
Well,
You
thank
literally.
you.
What's really beautiful as a self-projected authority, you actually know what you want. At the end of the day, you know, look, I want to launch 2 weeks. I want to launch 5 weeks. You don't need an explanation. You don't need a feeling. You just know. But what helps you find clarity in your thoughts is literally, as it says, to soundboard, to speak about it. So either voice noting yourself and listening back to it, or speaking to someone like a mentor or a team member. And through speaking, you gain clarity. So it's almost like you'll have this idea and you'll be like, okay, Sophie may be like, I want to launch 4 weeks, and she's got this whole plan. She may start speaking to me about it, and then she's like, you know what, that actually just doesn't feel right. You know what, I'm going to do like 21 days. And
that's super interesting that you say that. I talk to myself all the time, or Mel is in the comments. I've seen her. Sometimes we chat. I fix all of my problems by myself, but she still needs to be here.
Exactly. And that's how
so
you guide your
awesome.
authority. So now the incredible thing is, when you're now launching, you can actually then speak to yourself and be like, okay, Sophie, like, do you feel like you need to do an IGTV series this week, or do you feel better doing like a real like series? And you can be like, no, I think like IGTV is going to work so much better. Okay, let's do that. So this just shows you how you then start to personalize your launch, and you're actually doing it in a way that complements your energy, because that's what human design is meant to do. It's meant to guide you to live to your fullest potential. So if you're now being guided to actually maximize your fullest potential in your business with launching, you're going to stop looking at all the shiny object syndrome around you and being like, okay, well, you know, this successful coach did this with her launch, or this successful person did this with their launch. You end up doing it, but it actually feels really off for you.
That is so interesting. I'm always amazed every time I dive a little bit in. I feel like I'm learning a little bit more. That's so awesome. We do have some questions in the chat. So I feel it in my gut.
She probably meant gut.
Oh yes, with a tingly feeling if it's a good, and maybe a little bit of a bad feeling. So, and I think, Lindsay, do you know that which one you are? And we have
she said like her authority is her throat, which there isn't really a throat authority. So just make sure that you're looking at the right, at the right part where it asks you what your authority is.
Awesome. And Larissa is asking if inner authority, yes or no question.
No, so it depends again on your authority. If you're a sacral authority, then yes or no questions will work.
That's so awesome. So excited. I get excited really, really easily. So just roll with it. Okay, so can we talk about myth? So there is so many. I mean, we can probably actually talk about that every day. But what myth do we need to squash right now? We just need to stop so that we can break the glass ceiling, so that we can actually create a launch plan, create a vision, create a business that is going to get us to our dream, to shatter the glass ceiling where we don't even know that we can achieve.
I think the biggest thing, like you said, there's so many. The biggest thing that, to be honest, I even recently had to kind of bust this myth myself, is overlooking the basics. Like, basics really work. And the thing is, if
Yes,
we look
they
at
do.
basics, yeah, if you look at basics, it's like you've got if now the absolute basic skeleton, you've got a pre-launch, a launch, and a post-launch. That's your absolute basic skeleton. If you can do that well, then start refining. I think the biggest mistake I've seen, and I mean, I fall into it, I don't know if you've also fallen into that, is we try and overcomplicate things. We try and do too many things at once, or we want to be like super fancy, or we see all these people doing like launching multiple offers at once, and we're like, that's going to be my key, but we're still struggling to launch that one thing. The basics work. And it's almost like a breath of fresh air. If you can strip down all the bells and whistles, tune into your like basic launch plan, map that out, master that. Use like what we spoke about, like your energy type and the authorities we touched upon. Like use those things to make small tweaks, but get back down to the basics. Because if you can do that well, then you can do all the pivots, and I like to call them cherries on the cake. Then you can do those well.
That's so awesome. So what was it for you? If I was to ask you if there was one thing you wish you knew before you got all started, what would that be? It's a hard question.
I would know. I think there'd actually be two answers to this. Define your own measure of success. I think that would be a big one for me. Like, find what feels good to you. Because I remember this so often is like, there would be nights, and I still sometimes have to roll myself in, because I feel like when you start your business, it's the small goal. You're like, I just want to sign my first client, or I just want to have my first 5K month. And then you achieve those things. And then it's also the monster gets bigger that you want to slay. And it's this perpetual cycle. And I remember once just being in absolute anxiety with my husband, being like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not good enough, all these things. And he was like, compared to what? And compared to who? And I was like even saying it now, it kind of brings like this like emotional like feeling within me, because I'm like, it's so true. Like, define your own measure of success and remind yourself of that daily, because the internet is very noisy. There's a lot of things being thrown at us, and we can very easily feel like we're not enough or not good enough. And I would say the second thing with that is put your blinders on. Like, be relentless and focus. And that's where the basics come from. Like, really just focus on what it is you want to do. Focus on building your brand, your business, providing value to your community. I actually picture those, those cart horses with like the flaps over their eyes so that they don't get distracted.
Yes.
That is literally it. Like, put your head on and focus, because if we take away the distraction of scrolling on social media where the comparison hits up, or we take away this distraction of, let me just see what what Sophie's doing. Like, let me see, like, what did she just celebrate in her business, and then feel like really terrible that you're not celebrating the same or similar thing, then you'll realize how far you've already come. And I think you've maybe seen it in your income as well. I've seen it with mine. I actually just had like a financial call with my financial manager before this. I'm like, we could literally see the months where I purely focus on doing the things that bring me satisfaction, again, the money gen, but bringing satisfaction and just feeding my soul, were the months my business did the best, because I actually was able to really show up fully.
That's so amazing. I think that it is so easy to, you jump into the next challenge that you see because there was an ad and it tells you, you need to have 6-figure launch, or you need to make a 30,000 launch. But the reality is, I've seen it with a lot of clients, they don't have a business yet. They don't know who their ideal client is. They haven't done their first sale. There's a lot of steps that you have to do before you can have a $30,000 launch. But also, if that's not your goal and you're not in line with that goal, it's all about being in line with your business and your goals. It doesn't do as well, right?
Yeah. And I think even where you're mentioning that, like, when it comes to investing, ask yourself, like, is this investment actually solving a problem that I have right now in my business? Or am I investing because I'm coming from fear or scarcity or lack, or feeling like I have to be saved? Because even if I look back at my own investments, like, of course, I think we all have 1 or 2 investments where we're like, did I really need that? And I'm like, no.
I think it also comes from, you're investing because you're trying to find the magic unicorn, but you haven't yet done the work to find the success, right? Because sometimes it could be, your mindset blocks, all sorts of things, but you're not doing the things that will actually move your business forward. And it's so easy to go for the shining object, purchase the next course, because you're, again, trying to find that magic unicorn that's going to replace the hard work.
Yeah. I think it's really important when it comes to investing, like invest for the foundations that you need where you're at. Like when you're starting your business, yes, invest. Like I without a doubt, invest in a business coach. When you're looking to start scaling, invest in a scaling business coach. If you're looking for whatever level at your business, I definitely believe in investing, because it really just holds that space for you that you can excel. And also just have someone, again, to hold space for you and be your sounding board, because it's so hard to do it all on your own.
It is. I actually, I thrive with other people, I guess. You know what? COVID has been happening, home for 2 years. So I go a whole lot out of my way to hang out with a whole bunch of people. I love it. But there's a big difference into, it's not necessarily that I need, 100 people by my side, but I absolutely love, getting on Zoom or going for coffee or having a drink and just talking about the business back and forth. But I guess now it all makes sense. I just love the connection that we get when we get to do these and work together.
Exactly.
Awesome. And I know you have a little gift for everybody today. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it? I'm going to drop it in the comments.
Yes. I'm so excited. I think it is so aligned, is actually launching in alignment with human design and mindset, which I think is like such a powerful combination. So you will see that the like Profits and Potency launch guide really shows you, again, it goes over the basics of launch, which you're probably going to like walk away with the most after my like call. But it also shows you like how can you start incorporating your human design into your launch? How can you start incorporating emotional intelligence and mindset work, which I think is so important in your launch, and actually profit more the more you launch. These are honestly tools that I've used as well with every launch to have that introspection and to prepare myself to, have more profits and allow more soul clients into my space.
That is so amazing. That's so exciting. I want to go check it out. So I've just dropped it into the comments. I'm going to send it by email, put it in the Facebook group as well, just for the people that are watching the replay. Don't want the comments to to get lost. And I will add how we can connect with you. But I know you have an amazing podcast because I've been binging it. So definitely go check that out.
Especially with the relaunch at the moment.
Oh, that's so exciting. I love launches. I love relaunch. It creates momentum. It creates excitement. So you can tell I sort of live for this. So, so thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Yes. If you have any questions for Kylie, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And it was so nice having you. And I will chat with you soon.
It was so amazing. Thank you so much, guys. And let me know if you have any questions. And feel free to connect on Instagram there as well, because I'm there all the time. So then you can see all the human design love.
It's sort of addicting, isn't it?
I love the platform. I think it's so much fun.
That's awesome. What is the group, Sophie, for Facebook? It's called the Collaboration Corner. I've created a Facebook group for the sole purpose, and we are going to talk about that a lot, of collaborating. When you need to talk to people about ideas, market research, you want to collaborate on Reels, IGTV, live on Instagram, Facebook, collaborating live like we're doing today. I love collaboration. I have met some of my business besties. You know what? I'm a mom, 2 kids. My husband was just gone for 3 months. I just love, I love collaborating. And so for the people who loves to collaborate as well, that Facebook group is going to be for you. Absolutely. I hope yes. The replay will be sent to everybody later today. You'll have access to it until Saturday, and I will put the Facebook group into the comments. Thank you so much, Kylie.
You're welcome.
Chat
This is
soon.
amazing, and thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so hello, Danielle. So we're going to talk to Danielle about overcoming the imposter syndrome. I want you guys to be completely real with me and drop in the comments if you can see yourself in imposter syndrome, because I feel like every single person, every entrepreneur who's asked to basically get a kick in the butt and get out of their comfort zone have had a few thoughts out loud or not about imposter syndrome. Okay, so we're going to learn with Danielle today. Welcome, Danielle, how to create a successful version of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sophie. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. So I would love if you can tell us a little bit about you, because I did read your bio and oh my gosh, you have created some amazing things. So if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive in.
Sure. Thank you. I am a mindset coach, and I work mainly with women who are overworked, underpaid, and know that they have more of an impact to make, and they're not doing it. So my story is that I came from a corporate career. I quit my job, and everyone thought I was crazy, to become an entrepreneur. And I assumed that I'd build this business because I had a successful career, and I fell flat on my face. Like, it was really challenging, and I was working all the time to make it a success. And at like my lowest point, we were about $100 in debt, Sophie, like awful debt. I quit my job, and my expenses didn't go down. And that's when I was introduced to Bob Proctor and his teachings. And I decided to jump in as a client into his program. And within 6 months, I had tripled my income and had hit that goal I had a goal of 10,000 a month. And then it's just beyond. So Bob says, what would it look like if you could turn your yearly income into your monthly? And I was like, what? That would be incredible. And I made that goal after I hit 10K, and I did that and far beyond. So now our brand is a multi-million-dollar brand, and we've helped other women become millionaires as well through their life as an entrepreneur, mainly entrepreneurs anyway.
That is absolutely amazing. I want to know in the comments, when I say that you could be a next millionaire, how does that make you feel? Do you feel like this is something you can achieve, or maybe it feels out of reach yet? So it was a behind the scene on an event recently, and it was productivity. That's my French coming out. Secret of Female Millionaire, and that was the number one thing that came up, is that people did not think that they could achieve $1 million.
Yeah, that's really common, and if we start to ask, just ask the part of you that knows, why can't it, why don't you think it's you right now? Don't believe, just notice what comes up. And that will tell you quite a lot about it. Like for me, it was like, well, no one in my family, like that wasn't for us. It was for them maybe, but not us. But then if you start to say, hey, well, what if? Like, why not me? Why not me? It's a good question.
All right, so we have already some questions in the chat. I don't know if you can see the chat. Danielle is asking, Larissa, sorry. So, hi, Danielle. During the talk, if you can please answer the question, is imposter different from act as if?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we can go into it a little bit, if that works for you, Sophie, about what
That's perfect, yeah.
Okay, so today I wanted to tell you, really what is the imposter syndrome and why we have it, why it happens to us, and why it can really stop us. So the imposter, and then how to beat it, of course. So the imposter syndrome there's two reasons why we have it. One is we're not living our authentic self. And your past speaker, Kylie, she actually mentioned a little bit about this, when we're not following our intuition or our gut, or that part of us that knows, and it can come up because of that. So that's the first way. I'll talk to you about that in a moment. The second way is mindset. It's because the way that we need to act to achieve our goals, and the way we need to see ourselves is not a match for how we currently see ourselves. And so then what happens in the mind, in the subconscious mind, it's like the image that you have of your goal, like up here in your current image, they fight in the subconscious mind. So then when you go out and take action towards your goals, your unconscious mind or subconscious mind's there to keep you safe. And that's when all the voices like, who do you think you are? You're not good enough, la 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 la, come up. So I'll talk about both of those today because they're really important. It is very similar as Act As If, Larissa, and I'll share on why it comes exactly when you're about to act. So there's no coincidence there that it comes up at that point. So the first one, like when we're not being true to ourselves, I can remember a time for myself. I was at a seminar. It was actually for Bob Proctor, so I work quite closely with him. If you guys know him from The Secret, the movie The Secret, and I was at one of our trainings, and I had just won an award with his company, and I got the email, come to the, and he said, wear your business suit or it's business casual. So I went out and got suits like back from my corporate days, and I go to the conference and wearing what I thought I should. And I was really uncomfortable. And I was sort of like, crunched over, like not really rocking it. And my normal style, Sophie, is like, I love leather pants and my boots and my red lipstick. And I was down in the main room looking around going, okay, I'm in a skirt in these heels and none of this feels right. And I felt like a complete imposter because I wasn't being true to me. So I actually went back upstairs and I put on my leather pants, my black shirt, my black jacket, and my boots. And I went downstairs and I was like comfortable again. And my voice, like I knew that I was confident, like the little voice in my head sort of left me alone. Well, what was so funny that night at dinner, at the celebration dinner, it was just a small group of us with Bob. And he said he had made a few remarks about each of us as we were going around the table. And he said, Danielle, I swear you're going to be in your 90s and still rocking those leather pants in the old age home. And I was like, see? Like, wear what feels good, not what you think you should wear, should wear to make someone else happy or to fit someone else's image of what it should be. So that's the first way. So we've all experienced that. We know what to do. Just like said what Lindsay says. The second way is the sabotage. What happens when the mind tells you that you are faking it, that this isn't you, that you who do you think you are, and la la la. This is because of the way the mind works, and it's super important. The first step is to understand why it's happening so that you can beat it. So we each have an image of ourselves right now inside, and it's going to show up in your results, in your current results. So how you really think of yourself in your heart is where what's actually creating your results right now. And then you have an image of who you are when you've achieved the goal. Does that make sense, Sophie? Can you see those two things?
It does, yeah.
So as you start to go out and act towards that goal, of course, the person you're growing into, because that's the whole purpose of a goal, of course, the person you're growing into is not who you are right now. So you go out and act that way, and it's not a match for how you see yourself. So in your subconscious mind, the two images fight. And that little voice in your head, I know I'm not the only one, it will have you like fear, doubt, worry come up, and they will literally, that voice will stop you in your tracks. And in some cases, it can turn into anxiety. And then that, we all know that feeling as well. And then we suppress that feeling and it can mess up the health of our body. What we need to do is go to the root cause of your current feeling about yourself, and that's your mental programming. You were each given a mental program as to how you see yourself, and that program was given to you when you were a kid. And so what most of us try to do to beat this fraud feeling or the imposter syndrome is we go out and act anyway, right? We go out and act, but there's a problem there because we're trying to change the results in the physical world without actually going to the root cause in your mind about how you see yourself. And so then what happens is then the actions don't give you results that you're looking for. Does that resonate?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I have been there. I've honestly, Danielle, I was the one that didn't believe in mindset.
Yeah.
Like, what is mindset? Is mindset just something that people tell you when you fail? Like, fix your mindset. So it took me actually a few years to realize that mindset is not necessarily what you do and what you don't do. It's not because you don't want it, but it's all of the subconscious. Oh my God, the
Yeah.
subconscious. I can't say it, so we're just gonna roll with it. It's everything that's happening in my mind that I don't realize that it's happening because I haven't slowed down enough to realize. So it's everything that's in automation
Yeah, you got it.
that
It's
we don't know. Yeah. So it took me years.
huge. And so if we don't go to the root cause of your current results, you'll continue to sabotage yourself. You'll continue to get the same results over and over and over and over again. And this is where, like, for me, it totally messed me up because I thought we just had to act, like work harder, and I achieved the results. But as soon as I kept acting the same, but I changed my image that I had of me in my unconscious mind, and that's when I tripled my income. My actions stayed the same. So essentially, it doesn't, like, the actions, what you do to act, it doesn't matter as long as you believe and they're in line with who you are. And that's what Kylie was saying too. It's so true. So we've got to be able to change the image that you have of yourself. And so then the act as if, to go back to Larissa's question, the imposter syndrome happens because we haven't changed the image that we have of ourselves. And so then when we go out and act as if, that voice tells us that we're that fake. So you want to like attack this in two ways. One is to, on a deep level, create, you get to write the image that you have of yourself. I didn't realize this, but I can just like write out how I want to see myself and program it into my mind through repetition. That sounds crazy, but it's how you got your paradigm, your programming in the first place. And so then the second piece, Larissa, like the act as if has anyone worn before and they're like totally uncomfortable? Sophie, do you
Oh yes. I mean, if you want to talk about clothes, I am a Canadian veteran.
Yeah.
So I have 12 years in the army wearing, let's call it a pajama, but you know, the military uniform.
Yeah.
And when I got out, wearing like the clothes that I wasn't even the person that I was before, like, because the heels, the little skirts and the tight clothes, like, it took me a long time to just find the clothes that I would be comfortable. So I can only imagine having to attach a whole personality to that.
So that's like, you know, when you started wearing the skirt after being in the uniform for so long and recognizing how your voice, like that little inner voice, what it would have said to you. So we all have that, and that's the best analogy for imposter syndrome is understanding how, like, think about skinny jeans or like an outfit that you really want to wear, but you're not sure if you can really pull it off. And so we put on our skinny jeans and at first we're like looking in the mirror like, oh, I don't know, they might be too tight, or that skirt's too short, right? So our voice is telling us this, and then we go downstairs and your husband or wife or a friend says, what are you wearing? And they're basically echoing what's in your unconscious mind, because our unconscious mind just projects our reality. So of course they're going to echo what's in here, what that little voice is saying. We're like, oh man, I knew it, they're too tight. And so then in the beginning you go out in your jeans, but if you're telling yourself, I'm like, no, I'm rocking this, I look great, I look great, I look great, I look great, before long you're going to be rocking those skinny jeans all over, and they're going to be your favorite pants in your closet. and every night you go out with the girls, right? You're rocking those pants. But if you go and you're not sure, and then every time someone looks over, you're like, oh, I knew it, they're too skinny, or they're too tight, and then you'll go back up and you'll change. It's the same thing with the imposter syndrome. So you've got to tell yourself what you need to hear to keep those jeans on, and then before you know it, you'll be rocking it. Same thing with your self-image and the way you see yourself.
That's amazing. So we're like talking sort of, when we think affirmation, but more into repeating how I want to be, the person that I want to be. Did I get this right?
Yeah. So the most
Okay.
important first step is to take pen to paper and to decide who you are with your goal achieved. So you've got to really know what you want, right? You really want to have a goal, and it can be short term or long term, something that you've never done before, something that makes you totally uncomfortable, and you don't know how it's going to come together. Take pen to paper and write. And if you write, the writing causes thinking. And so really take the time to do that. And then from there, you can ask yourself, okay, so who am I with this goal achieved? Like, what are the thoughts I'm thinking? How do I feel? What are the actions? And you can write that out, and then you want to do your best to be that person in your mind first, like having those thoughts and feel, and then take the action.
That's so awesome. It's so interesting. This whole conversation makes me think of, okay, so over the summer, I went and did my first brand photo shoot. Now, I'm very basic, obviously, but everybody with their really nice hats. I don't wear hats because I don't feel like I look good in it, but I want to be a hat person. And I brought that hat to my brand photo shoot. And the photographer, she's like, well, if you're not a hat person, why'd you bring it? And I was like, because I want to be a hat person. So,
So
those are all
here's
over.
the thing, like that's so simple, right? And if you want to be that hat person, so then you just gotta, if it's truly what you want, right? And that's the image that you want to grow into, then it's like practicing and telling yourself you look good with a hat and you feel comfortable, because whatever you're saying to yourself, you're listening, and that's the truth. So it's so simple. Like we can use it for a hat, and like I gave you the skinny jean analogy. We can use it for that, but here's the truth: it's the same process for you to achieve your goals, and that's what you really want to understand. If you tell yourself you can, you will. If you tell yourself you can't, you won't. It is that simple. We don't realize what we're saying in our mind all day long, what's going in the background. We've got to become really clear on that. And how you can look is at your current results.
That's amazing. I'm so excited. I want to know in the comments. Let us know if you have any question for Danielle, but also if you feel that you have launched before and have completely bypassed what a launch should look like for you, and the mindset and the mind work to get you prepared for that launch, because I have been there. Very often. So I will be the first to admit that I skipped all of the basic and went direct. I love building funnels. I love building, big events. I can do this all day long. And I was completely skipping all of the basic, which including the imposter syndrome and the mind work behind launching. So I was there.
It's interesting how the imposter, when we're launching, how right, and again, like it's there. If you think of it this way, the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind is there to keep you safe. And so it's going to tell you what you need to hear to put you back in the little box and to not go out and do something that you haven't done before. And when we're launching, we can fall into that so many times, especially when the results aren't the results that we think we should be getting right now.
Yeah.
There's all these things that will come up and we'll literally beat ourselves up. And the reason we do that is because of it's just the unconscious mind's way to keep you safe and not growing. So when you start to understand it, like truly understand how the mind works, you're like, okay, I got that. That's just that voice. It's not true. And so I ask myself two questions. I say, okay, in this scenario, like with my launch right now, what do I want? What is the outcome that I want? And how would that feel? And if I had that outcome right now, what would I be thinking? How would I feel? And what would the actions be? And then I use that to course correct how I'm showing up energetically. Because it's not the actions we take, it's the energetics that we're in that makes the biggest difference. And that's where mindset comes in. Like in the events, this is where you'll have an event that blows up and one that doesn't.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I know that now that you also have a free gift for everybody. I'm going to drop it off in the comments, but if you want to let us know a little bit about it.
Sure. So I love talking about self-image and the fact that you'll never outperform the image that you have of yourself. And it was the biggest piece in my work and how I help clients. And so this is a free a master class that we're rolling out for you that I've done just recently, and it's a 2-week access to the master class, and it takes you through the steps so that you can literally create who you are with your goal achieved and step into her. And so there's a whole module on the imposter syndrome and how this is the work that you'll do to keep achieving every goal at the next level, because the growth is so important. Who you are becoming in the process of going after your goals. And so it's called Becoming.
I love that. I love that so much. So for everybody, if you're watching the replay, I am going to put it in the Facebook group and as well as in the email with your replay, so you don't have to scroll through the comments to find Danielle's gifts. That will be easily accessible. Thank you so much, Danielle, for taking the time to come chat today.
Thank you.
And we will chat with you soon.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. So how exciting is this? I'm seriously, guys, I was the one where mindset is just witchcraftry, and it has made a huge difference into my business. So definitely ask questions into the comments if you have any question, if anything comes up. And thank you, Mel. If anything comes up, right? Like if you're feeling like you have a block, like mindset can be something as simple as, why am I procrastinating? Mel, I'm almost talking to you because I know you procrastinate all the time. I'm just kidding. But sometimes, why am I procrastinating? That is mindset. That is something that, maybe talking with a friend, you can sort of discover, is it because I don't believe that I'm going to deliver? Am I not selling because I don't believe that what I have to offer is worth it, which is bullshit. Because I know that you are worth it and I know that what you have to offer is absolute gold. But that is a little bit more about what mindset is and where that comes from. Oh, thank you so much, Rosie. Okay, so up next we have Karen. Karen is here to talk to us about branding, but authentic branding. And I love branding. I love talking about branding. I cannot match colors to save my life. So I absolutely love that topic. So we're going to bring Karen onto the screen. Hello, Karen. Are you with us? Hi.
Hi, Sophie.
How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm so excited to impart my knowledge and the value that I will be providing for all the audiences today so that they could have an authentic branding that reflects their true essence.
That's amazing. I cannot wait to hear more. Now, Karen, you are, am I correct? I want to say the Philippines. I did remember this properly.
Yes.
What time is it in for you? We're not, slightly different time frame.
Yes, it's around 12. Yeah.
So slightly late and maybe not as highly caffeinated as I am. All right, so I know that you have a presentation for us.
Yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen now.
Amazing. Oh, here we go. It's coming right up.
Okay, so today I'm gonna share about how authentic branding will land you your dream clients. Cause I've been there and I didn't know how to position myself as an expert, so I wasn't able to attract the right people to work with me, and I always end up being overworked and stressed. So I took a deeper transformation so that I could really embody who is it that I really desire to become, so that I could authentically attract my dream clients. So before we start, I wanted to say hi to all the audiences who are watching right now, and I want to say that when you embody the woman you really desire to become, you effortlessly attract your dream clients. So everything will flow naturally and you'll be able to experience your own definition of success. And there are going to there are slides that you'll want to remember, so I encourage you to snap a picture and share them on Instagram, and you can tag me at Simplicity Current. So before everything else, or before diving, how can you book your dream clients once you launch your business? I want to tell a story about two female entrepreneurs. So first one, meet Celine. She's a business coach who works with other female entrepreneurs who want to gain guidance on how to navigate and propel their business. She works with almost all female entrepreneurs because she thinks that by taking on all possible clients she could have, she'll be able to help more entrepreneurs who need her the most. She went on to promote her business on Facebook, commenting on every post she could see in every group, hoping that she'll be picked one day. One time, she saw a post of a female entrepreneur looking for a coach, but then the budget doesn't suit with what she has in mind because she knows that she's offering a transformational approach that yields results. Aside from that, the industry wherein the female entrepreneur looking for a coach is in the technology industry, which doesn't resonate with Celine because she prefers working with the luxury industry. However, she thinks that this might be my potential client. I should give it a go, right? So, what happened? Yes, she finally booked her client from the technology industry, but she wasn't happy at all. Why? Because her client keeps on demanding requests that don't fall under the contract. She's asking for too much that doesn't match what she can pay Celine. Celine is taking too much of her time without getting paid for the value she's providing for her client. So, what happened next? Celine continued working with clients that don't resonate with her, and she's overworked and burned out. For once, she wanted to book her dream client that matches her vibe and would pay for the value that she has to offer. But she doesn't know how. She's just following what others are doing to keep up with the flow, not knowing how can she stand out from the crowd. So let's get back with Celine later, and for now let's talk about the other female entrepreneur. So let's meet Belle. Belle is also a business coach like Celine, and she has a strong visual identity that resonates with the woman she desires to become, which means that she radiates the intentional energy that she's putting into her craft. Her dream clients are effortlessly attracted to her because of her consistency and unique presence that's a reflection of her true essence. She doesn't go with the flow Instead, she aligned herself into the flow that is uniquely designed for her. And unlike Celine, she's not overworked or burned out from commenting on all Facebook groups that she's in because she knows exactly who are her ideal clients, and on top of that, she was able to strategize the best services that she could offer exclusively for her clients. Her clients respected her and perceived her as an expert in the field. That's why she was able to work with her dream clients, at most 2 to 4 high ticket clients per month. And not all of her services require her presence all the time, meaning she has more time for herself and for her loved ones, but she's able to meet her financial goals. So now let me ask you, would you choose to become Celine, who works with all entrepreneurs not knowing how to stand out, or become Belle, who has an authentic visual presence that resonates with her and her ideal clients that allows her to earn more while doing less? There are also some questions that you might like to answer for yourself or to reflect on yourself as you go through the day. So, do you want to make the influence that you desire as you continue to have a thriving business? Or do you want to be consistent with how you show up and gain brand recognition? Do you want to be confident and to be able to do business differently? Or do you want to live the life of your dreams, having financial freedom and collaborating with clients that you love? So if your answer is yes, then I would really love to help you grow your business and take actionable steps to come closer to what you think is still far away from you. So first, what is authentic branding? And I'd like to put it this way. Authentic branding is the process of creating a brand identity infused with your soul essence and strategy. It allows you to empower your brand in a way that would work for you because you possess the visual presence that is uniquely tailored to you and your ideal clients. So, with that being said, it means that when you have a strong brand identity, your dream clients become effortlessly attracted to you because you shine the way you desire. And when people see that light, they are drawn to it and become curious about why you do what you do, who you are, and how you take action to work on your mission. Apart from that, you'll have a foundational guide on understanding how your brand does business differently. You'll have an edge because you know your sweet spot or what makes you stand out. So now I'd really love to give you some idea or actionable steps that you can take to elevate your brand to have a successful launch. So first, it's kind of connected with what uh, the earlier speakers thought, Natalie and um, yeah, Natalie and Kylie. So first, let's work on your mindset. Remember that you have what it takes to have a brand that resonates with your true essence and your ideal clients, and it's just within your reach. Working on your mindset allows you to go deep into understanding who is it you desire to embody. Remember, we're not aiming to become somebody else. We're aiming to help you find your truth. And so you can ask yourself, who is it that I really desire to become? What lights me up? What makes me feel so good about myself? You know that you're capable of achieving your own definition of success. And yes, it takes work. But with a growth mindset, you can leverage everything in your hands. So the second tip is go deep with your why. I guess this is the part wherein most entrepreneurs skip as well, because going deep with your why is very important because it serves as your compass as you continue to navigate your journey. So every great established brand has their own why, and it allows them to move forward with clarity and confidence in their business. You can ask things like, why do you do what you do? And why did you establish your brand? Diving deep into your core reason allows you to establish a stronger brand that will last not just for a month or for a year, but for many years. And you can take that even deeper by asking three whys. So it's like a 5 layers of your why. Knowing your why means you have a compass to navigate in your business and you'll never get lost, tired, or overwhelmed because you know why you do what you do. So, in order to establish a strong brand, your why should be followed with ideas and like deeper work with your vision, the impact that you wanted to leave through your work, your mission, how you're making your vision a reality. So it's like your action, the action that you're taking to come closer to your vision. Your core values, um these are the things that matters about you and your brand, and it could be reflected with how you deliver the client experience. Then next we have the differentiators. It's what sets you apart from the others. Of course, you'll not look like everybody else if you know what sets you apart from the others. Then next, we have the brand tone and voice. It's how you interact both online and in person. It allows you to develop a voice that only you can have. And then brand messaging, it's um, a formula, or you can have your brand messaging by using the formula who you serve, what can you offer, and how does it add value. By using that formula, you could generate a strong messaging that would resonate with your ideal clients. And brand identity, this is the part wherein we incorporate all the deeper work that we've talked about earlier to a more visual style. The brand identity includes your logo, your color palette, your font systems, your website. So it will house all the deeper work that we've done before, which is your why and the vision, mission, core values, differentiators, brand tone and voice, brand messaging. And third tip, if you have already established, this the deeper work, let's allow room for consistency. So even if you're just starting out, or maybe you've established your brand for at least a few months now, or at least a year now, it's vital that you practice consistency for your brand. An example would be posting for your chosen platform, let's say Instagram. I've met a lot of female entrepreneurs struggling with consistency. And if they break the current cycle that they have right now, it's possible that they're gonna delay even more and end up slacking in that. So let's say that you post 5 days a week, but you actually feel tired about doing it. And if by the end of the week, you chose not to do the next batch of your content. If you're experiencing that, then my tip for you is to find the number of times that fits in with your schedule and the capacity to create your content. So if you're still feeling tired doing 3 contents per week, you can just do at least one per week. Remember that we're striving for progress, not perfection. So consistency, it allows you to build a brand recognition and allows you to gain visibility. If you create content that is related to your business and targets a specific group of audience, then more likely you're going to be seen by your ideal clients. And aside from consistency, it doesn't just mean that showing up on social media. It also means that you have to consistently use your brand guide to complete your visual presence. And bonus tip, you can market yourself in a way that you'll be seen as an expert in the field. So if you no longer want to be overworked just by putting all your time into commenting every post that will come up on, let's say, FB groups, then I suggest that you market yourself differently. So how could you do that? You can strategize on how could you show up consistently and cohesively aligned with your soul essence and of the woman you desire to become. And I guess that's basically it. And I just wanted to share my takeaway here that you should embody the woman that you desire to become because, again, that will allow you to attract the opportunities that you've been dreaming of. And it really does happen, I assure you that. So,
Thank you so much, Karen. I feel like this is, three speakers in a row that's telling me that tomorrow I'm showing up with my hat, whether you all like it or not. I love my hat. I look weird in it, but maybe it's just I have to get used to it. So thank you so much for all your tips. I know that you have a free gift for us. I have already dropped it into the comments. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
so yes, the authentic branding checklist, it would allow you to, have an idea to have a strong brand identity that resonates with you and your ideal clients. It's a checklist that will guide you on what should I establish or what should I think about my brand so that I could book my dream clients.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank you so much, Sophie. I really did enjoy it, and I was so grateful to be able to connect with other female entrepreneurs here as well.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Enjoy your day and we'll chat soon.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously we are learning tons about all sorts of subject, and I'm excited. Honestly, I live for this. Larissa says, "Thank you, Karen." Okay, so next up, I'm so excited. I don't know if maybe I'm more excited than Andrea about this topic, but we are going to talk about how to ensure that you are in optimal health. Hi, Andrea, and show
Hello,
up.
Sophie.
Yes, with energy for your launch because nobody wants to be showing up for their launch like a sad panda. But with all seriousness, I've been behind the scene. I've said this a few times already with so many entrepreneurs that end up into a burnout, even though I can do everything for them, right? Either the launch is not aligning, but it's so important. There's nothing more important than you before the launch. So I'm so excited to be talking with you about this today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate, having this conversation because not that I only believe that is important, but I think we do not hear this enough. So a quick reminder won't hurt, right?
Oh my goodness. I agree. I love this. Now, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive in?
Absolutely. My name is Andrea Cristanto. I am a holistic business coach. And in my world, that means a marriage of a health coach with an international serial entrepreneur. What I do is really help, not overworked, but ambitious female entrepreneurs in the online space ditch the hustle and bustle culture and really focus on optimizing that they want to do and doing it with ease and grace, staying in health. So that's, in a nutshell what I do. And yes, today we're only going to talk about one little aspect of, all the wide range of options that I can provide. But that one little aspect is really how to prepare yourself for a launch and how to stay in optimal health and understand that a launch is like a marathon. Wouldn't you agree? When we
Yes.
say, okay, I'm launching, we set our mind into this sort of high achieving mode, and sometimes we neglect our body. So, what I've prepared for us today is a quick presentation on 3 chapters of that launch. So, when we're launching, we are in the pre launch, during, and post. So, I've really reframed our conversation on how we can optimize our health in the same stages. So, let's dive in.
Oh, I'm excited.
Awesome. So, the pre stage, I would say an invitation 10 days before your launch day to cleanse, to really bring your body and your essence into cleansing. And what does cleansing mean? Well, going through a simple elimination diet where you include more of the good and less of the bad. No crazy diets here, nothing fancy. No, no, just simply being critical on, okay, I'm going to start going into a healthy eating mode just because I need to replenish and fuel my body, right? But the other important thing is that when we say, okay, we're going to start cleansing, we've got to sweat. So 10 days before our launching day, it's the ideal time to go into your 90-day, hot yoga classes, or, hit the gym and go into the sauna. Simply be mindful that you want to really start draining everything that might be accumulated in your body, because you want to have lean digestion, you want to have clear mind. Well, you have to help your body in order to get there, right? And the third thing is start preparing your meals for the lunchtime. So it's not only about, how you're going to show up, but also understanding that while you're in a lunch, you're going to have very minimal time to take care of yourself. And ideally, we want to plan in ahead, like way ahead, so that we know, okay, is it a 3, a 5, a 7 day lunch? Well, what is it that I'm going to be eating? We want to aim for 3 meals a day. And how can we do this? Well, you batch cook and freeze, or you create a meal train so that your friends and relatives drop healthy foods right at your doorsteps. And basically understand that you can always have smoothies as your best friends. You can pack smoothies, and you can pre-wash and freeze and have them ready handy to just walk into your kitchen, into your blender, out you go, packed with superfoods. So when we speak about that pre-launch session, or like those 10 days ahead, what I would love to invite people to do is to really be mindful on their breathing. And that is, throughout the process of cleansing, the one thing you need to be focusing on is, how are you breathing? So, is it taking deep inhales and we're going zen? No, not really. It's just optimizing your breathing patterns so that how are you breathing, becoming aware. We are looking into 2 things when we speak about breathing. Number one, checking your energy levels, and that is measuring with a bold test every time you wake up first thing in the morning. Where are your energy levels? And understanding that, if your energy is not showing your best capacity, well, then let's work towards improving our sleep, eating healthier, or simply winding down our thought patterns so that we understand, okay, am I improving or am I going nowhere? Am I flatlining here? The second thing is understanding that optimal breathing is long, light inhales into the diaphragm, meaning into your belly, holding your breath. If you catch yourself writing that email or speaking on the phone, trying to close a client, and you're just holding your breath as you speak, we don't want that. So being conscious on how is it that our current pattern is, so that when we're in launch mode and our body is at max capacity, our breathing is really fueling in with prana, our energy, right? So that would be for the pre-launch. Now, when we are on launch mode, few pointers. First thing, when you get up, set an intention, or get clear on what is that you want to achieve that day. Yes, when you're in launch mode, you have everything planned ahead, but you know what? Things can happen. Last minute calls, last minute something fell apart can happen. Technology for once, right? So the first thing we need to do is really wake up and understand that, okay, we are fueled with, either are we sitting in a meditation if that is our normal practice. Otherwise, during a lunch, it's not the right time to neither go on a diet nor start a new meditation practice, because you're putting more load onto your plate. So what you want to do is, if sitting in a meditation is not your normal, then skip ahead and go straight into a guided meditation. A yoga nidra session is what I would always recommend. And yoga nidra is called the yogic sleep for a reason. You go down for a 20-minute reset, and you're going to walk absolutely clear, but feeling recharged, and with that glow that is going to be there with you throughout the day. The second thing would be to set yourself, your mood, into a passionate tone, meaning, bring into mind first thing in the morning, what is it that you're passionate by? Recall your why. Think on, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? What's my goal? What is really my passion and my mission into this launch? And that is going to set you up as well into that right tone. The third would be to follow your pre-organized meal planning. But here is the important part. You've got to set it into a schedule and guard this time as a hawk. So no skipping meals, right? And yes, your snacks, yummy, smart snacks with, charged with superfoods, are your go-to resources when you happen to, be delayed and you cannot jump ahead, or you know what I mean? Having this ready is important, because what we're going to do is put that, the gas full on, and forget that, our body is taking in this much information. And yes, perhaps you're not feeling hunger, but it's important to stop, pause, have a meal, be mindful you're having your meal, and then carry on. Ideally, you're going to stick to your regular routine as you're launching, not go crazy about it. But if not, then put it into schedule and work with your pre-organized meal plans. The fourth thing is to exercise. As I said, in the pre-launching, yes, you're going to go for your delicious 90-minute sessions, but when you're in the launch mode, we might not have the time to go for 90 minutes. And perhaps visiting the gym at this point is not a wise thing because of, commuting or, time constraints. But what you can do is set into schedule a minimum of 15 to 30-minute practice, whether it's online or a pre-recorded practice. That would be great. If any type of exercise you want. And if exercising is not your jam, then going for a walk, stepping away, moving your body, just really a rhythmic walk to your favorite coffee place and back. But really stepping out from your office space or the environment where you're holding your live workshop. That is fundamental. The fifth would be anchoring your energy to your mantra. A mantra to me is that one phrase that you tell in the present tense, but you're telling, as your future self, telling your present self, what is it that you are aiming for, or what is it that your big why needs sort of a reminder to bring you back into that sense. Our mindset is, our mind is all right. Our mindset is something that we cannot take for granted, but it takes that, that awareness in order to tell ourselves, okay, I'm feeling low, or it's not going as I'm planning. Okay, what is that one thing that can anchor us and remind us, okay, why am I doing this? And it's important because our energy levels are not only going to be in our body, but also in our mind. And how are we going to sort of replenish our mind? Well, repeating our mantra, 16 times a day if we need to. But just knowing, okay, where are my handy tools to tap into to push forward. The last would be to wrap up the day, every single day of your launch, with a bath with Epsom salts if possible, and even better, a massage. If you could schedule some self-care, and meaning body self-care, getting into the bath to unwind, or massaging, if no one can do it for you, then massage your feet. But really come upon giving yourself that reward that would allow you to just go to bed without that buildup of energy in your mind. You want to, release it, relax, and tell yourself, okay, tomorrow is the next day. I've got it planned, I've got it under control. Let go, surrender, and aim for a good night's sleep. Because lastly, what we want to have throughout the whole launch is an impeccable night, sweet night's sleep. However, if you have kiddos in the room or in the house, sometimes you cannot guarantee your sleep, but aiming for it is, the guarantee. It doesn't matter how many hours of sleep you take. Look, some people recharge at 6, 7, 8. I'm on the 8 mark, but it doesn't matter how many hours. What you are aiming for is the quality of sleep. So, no gadgets around, minimal light, none if possible, right? Your simple hygiene in sleeping. That's what we're aiming for. And then we will move into the post launch. Post launch to me means once you have closed down cart, all right, like once you have completed the launch exercise, you're moving into that, unwind phase. But there are 3 important aspects here. Number 1, taking time off. And taking time off meaning closing that computer and walking away from work if possible for a day, 2, as long as you can. But really taking time off so you can detach and become the observant, analyze and really, pat yourself in the back, but also understand what went well, what could have gone better, and simply take what was good and move forward, and not kill yourself for what went wrong, because we tend to really punish ourselves if something doesn't go up to our standard. And ideally, when we become the observant, we can analyze and really become neutral in the sense of, okay, I'm learning, and every single experience is a learning experience, hence this is great, let's move forward. The second thing would be to go recharge in nature. I am an ocean person. To me, that would mean
Yes.
go to the beach. But if the beach is not close by, in my case, go for a swim or go for a hike, or simply step into nature so that you really allow that buildup of, energy to drain and, be released out into environment. You don't want to keep that in yourself. If while in nature you've got the time to sit in a meditation or simply be mindful, walk and be mindful on what you have achieved and celebrate your wins as you are in nature, that'd be tremendous. And last but not least is do a self-health audit at the end of the launch. And I believe this is the most important part, because what I mean by a self-health audit is what happened to your body throughout the launch. So you are on, face timing, camera on most of the day, not all day, right?
Yes.
You're constantly talking, speaking on the phone or in camera, like you are on. So what do your body tell you? Do you lose your voice? Do you catch the flu? How are you feeling? Like, are you feeling it in your neck, in your back, in your lower back? Like, what is it that your body is telling you so that you can take note and understand, okay, so for my next launch, because this is a regular, normal exercise in the life of online entrepreneurs like us. So, for my next launch, where do I need to take care a bit more than in this previous launch? That would be the ideal. So yes, sometimes a lot of people say, hey, but I don't know, like I always say your body speaks to you. Some people tell me I cannot hear, like I don't know what my body's sending. Yes, I feel ache, or I feel, but when you take time and you say, all right, this is exactly what I'm feeling at the moment, losing your voice, like what's happening here, like it's projection, working on the tone or hydration, like what is it? Really being mindful on how we can, take note and apply into that next launch. So with that, these are the bits and tips of, information that I would love to share with you all. But when we say, okay, let's wrap it up, it's simple. Divide it into 3. 10 days before, the days of your launch, and at least 2 to 3 days after. That is what I would say we can, analyze and set into motion to optimize our health when we go into launch. But not only that, when we are aware of we're aiming to align our health and our business, bringing these practices into our lifestyle, into our daily routine, it's a win, no matter in what angle you look at it. But to really go into a launch mindful that there are tools that you can tap upon, and you don't need to become superwoman. On the contrary, you need to really humble yourself and allow your body to just simply say, hey, I'm performing at my best, and these are my tools and my resources, and my toolbox is right here handy, ready to grab. That's what my message to everyone out there, and mainly to us online female entrepreneurs that really put our hearts into the front line on everyday basis.
I love that. I have a 3 week rule. Anyways, I have a 3 week rule where after 3 weeks, I'm a very go, go, go person. You'll see a lot of these events. I love throwing big events. I love doing the funnels. I live for this. So every 3 weeks, I block it off. I do nothing. I enjoy the family. I just don't do any work every 3 weeks. It's about 2 days. Like it's nothing crazy. But I have to put it on the calendar. Otherwise, I will
Beautiful.
not do it.
Bravo to
Yeah, right?
you. This is it. This is a message. We know we to put it in the calendar and to really, safeguard this space because it's sacred. It's time, the time you need. That's exactly, the practice we all should be building.
That's amazing. Now I know that you have a special gift for everybody today. I'm dropping it into the comments, but did you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, my gift to you all is a free masterclass on how to draft your 6-figure plan to integrate your health and business. This is a 45-minute session where I am walking you through how you can draft your own plan, your own blueprint, understanding that if aligning your health and your business is your call, there are ways that you can do this, and simply optimizing in increments your lifestyle in and a global mindset aspect of yes, I can optimize it. Yes, there's a sweet spot in between health and business. This masterclass is for you.
That sounds amazing. I will definitely check it out.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being here, Andrea, and we'll chat with you soon.
Absolutely. Bye for now.
Okay, yes. So listen, I know that it's not easy to slow down, but I have seen what happens when you don't personally with a lot of clients, and burnout is no joke. So definitely take your health into consideration, but I get it. I am like I go 100 miles a minute and I rarely stop. It is very hard to stop. So I totally get it. Now, our next speaker is Natasha. I'm going to bring her on screen. We're going to talk about, now we've talked about, hi, Natasha. We talked about how to get yourself ready for the launch, but how do we know that our business is an optimal place to launch? I've had a lot of clients who were not and that has some consequences. So hi, Natasha, I'm so happy you're
Hi.
here today.
Thank you for having me. And I apologize, my camera for some reason is not wanting to work. So I'm using the laptop camera, which is not the best. So just bear with me.
That is totally fine. I totally understand technology. I had the text message service went out of crap this morning. I got 100 messages. I'm just trying to ignore it till after. I will get back to all the messages.
So you're like, that didn't just happen, right?
No, we're just ignoring it at this point. I would love if you tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive in.
Okay, so I am Natasha Hatman. I am the founder of She Savvy Solutions. I am an online business manager. You'll also hear it out in the wide world as OBM or a digital business manager. So those two are pretty much the same. So what I do is actually I help businesses streamline, organize, systemize their systems, their business as a whole, so that you can become more effective, more efficient, and elevate and make that money that we all want to make.
I love this. So somebody who's worked behind the scene a lot, more into the launch space and managing everybody's business, I can tell you that organizing your business is really important. And I cannot stress this enough that it does not matter who you hire. We cannot see what you're thinking of. Okay. And this seems like logic maybe right now, but you're going to hire your first person and you're not going to think of a lot of things, and you're just going to assume that things are getting done, but things can easily get lost in translation, or you're going to spend so much time trying to pass on a task. But if you're organized and if you have the system before that first hire, oh my God,
your life becomes so much easier.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yes,
all right, so
yes.
let's dive right in.
Okay, so I'm kind of going to go through some key things to look at. And this is for any business, whether you're a brand new business or whether you're an existing business and have been around for, years and years. One thing that you will find that you never stop auditing your systems. You never stop changing and tweaking your systems. So you may think, oh, I've got this. I've got it. I've got systems in place, but we always need to revisit them so that we can make sure that we're getting our best use of time. Okay. So I'm just going to go through kind of how to kind of audit your systems. So you can hire an OBM and, let the OBM take charge and do what they do, or you can do a self audit on your own business and on your own systems. So like I said, every system or every business needs a system. There's not just one system. There's not just two systems. There is basically a system for every action that you do, whether it be onboarding, whether it will be, offboarding, whether you're onboarding an employee, onboarding a client, offboarding an employee, or offboarding a client. And then you go to social media. We all do social media. Our business, there's a system for it. You can create systems, and it's best that you create systems. So there really is a system for every piece of your business. Unfortunately, I know that's like, oh my gosh, it's a little overwhelming, but you kind of take it in chunks. Okay. So the first thing that you would need to do is literally write out every little step that you do. So an example I'm going to give, I also have a network marketing business. So I'll just take that one because that one's a little bit more, there's more pieces to it. So if I have a customer come on, what are the system, what are the pieces, what are the actions that need to be taken? So this client or this customer has placed an order. So what do we do from there? I mean, do we, mail out the product? Do we send an email and say thank you? What are the pieces? So you literally will take one task that you're doing and write out each task that you're actually doing. Every little piece that you're touching, that needs to be written down. Okay. So that's the first step, is on every system. That's first step. Then you really need to document. You need to document each system, whether you prefer to document it by a Word. You can, a Word document, you can literally do it that way. Or my favorite is using Loom, and it's Loom. It is fantastic. It's fairly cheap. I think it's $10 a month, and it is, I don't know, I can't speak highly of the software enough, and it is just amazing. You can do the entire process documented, and then you can store it on Loom. Or if you prefer, you could download it and store it, on a Google Drive or whatever drive you prefer to use. So those are the first steps. So it's easiest whenever you break them down. And I usually break them down by 4 different categories. So you have admin, you have marketing, you have services, and product. So just tackle one section at a time. Don't try to do your admin pieces and then, 10 minutes later, you're going to do your marketing pieces. Don't do that, because you'll end up crossing between them. And so always do admin, work with that, marketing, work with that, and so forth. So I'll go ahead and answer this. Which free client onboarding system do you recommend? So I'm a huge Trello fan. I also am a huge Asana fan. It just depends on your level of whether you want to get in there and learn it yourself, because Asana is meatier. And so there's a lot of YouTubing. I'll just, YouTube has taught me so much with Asana. So it just depends on which one of those you want to put time into learning. Trello is very, it's super, super easy, but Asana does have a learning curve to it. So those are the 2 that I, drive people towards, and you can set up your system that way. Okay, so we've broken them down into 4 categories. Now we're actually going to record the workflow. So that's exactly what it is. So what I would do is just write each step down, and that's you recording it. While you're doing this, you're going to realize, ooh, this isn't the best piece. This isn't the best thing to be doing, or, oh, we missed a step. Okay, so that's where you're always going to be tweaking your systems. And so you will always, I don't know, even if I have a really good system that I love, you're always going to end up tweaking it. I promise. Always, you're going to find a better solution, or a better route, or this was way more, complicated. Why did we go this way? So it's always best to write everything down and then look at it as a whole. Okay. So then you're going to look at it and say, does this make sense? I mean, it's just, you've got some simple questions. Does this make sense? How can I improve this step? Can this step be automated? Because if we can automate something, jump on the automation, because your life will be so much easier. And then can any part of it be automated? As far, you may not be able to automate the entire system, but portions of it may be, you may be able to automate. So never take that out of the equation. If you look at it and you're like, well, I can't automate this, you may be able to automate pieces of it. Even pieces of it will make your life way more efficient and your time better spent. So then you're going to look at it and say, streamlining. Can any part of this process be streamlined? More than likely, everything can be streamlined, but you can't see it whenever you're actually just doing pieces at a time. You have to look at it as a whole. Okay, so then you're going to look at what shifts can you make. You may find that you like the system and it's perfect the way it is, and you may want to tweak or shift something, one or the other. So the four topics were admin, marketing, services, and products. Okay, so does that kind of make sense right now? Kind of in the goods of all the organizing?
Yes, I love it. Something that I use for the clients that are not as visual, that you don't see it because I'm not in my office upstairs, but I have a wall. I have an entire wall, my bedroom. I'm sure my husband's loves it. And I use sticky note. So
yes,
just use it all. Use the entire table. Use an entire wall and lay it all out. So if you're looking at customer journey or a funnel, if you can't see it here, I'm the worst. You don't want to work with me. I see it all in my head.
No, I do that too.
I'm the worst. But if you can't see it, lay it all out and create yourself a visual, and you might be able to see where you're missing.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And that's actually how I got started to really piecing all the systems together to where now I can, do it, because I've done it so much. I can do it on a piece of paper. But absolutely pull out your stickies. Don't be ashamed of them. But my advice is do multicolored so you have something pretty to look at. Okay. So yes, take those stickies and put your systems down, and you can see, it's going to be easy, rip that out, or you're going to put it over, maybe you're like, oh, I should put this over in this system instead of this system. Easy to swap them. Okay. So that is, yes, very, very good thing there. So you should always really make sure that you do quarterly audits. And the reason I say quarterly is you don't want to do them every month, because then you'd be changing something all the time, and you don't really have time for that. You have time, you don't have time to do one little thing like that. So let's just put it off onto the quarter, but make sure that you do them every quarter. And usually at the quarter, you're revisiting your goals. Okay. So whenever you revisit your goals, do your quarterly audits, and that'll help you. It really will help you streamline and elevate your business to align to your goals. And that's why I say quarterly, because we always revisit those. And so it's always best to do that. So whenever you do your quarterly, or probably since you're, a lot of new business owners, if you can't think of systems that you need, like they're not going to come to you. If you're a new business owner, you're going to think of the most obvious ones: the onboarding, the offboarding, ordering. If you're a product-based business, ordering products, little things like that, to where that's fine. Just work on those. And whenever you come to doing something and you're like, oh, how do I do this? Or what's the best system for that? Just start writing it down. Start writing it down and then revisit it whenever you're not in the thick of trying to figure out how to do that, to do that one system. And then go back and actually put the system together. That is always one thing. I mean, and I think as business owners, we don't know all of the systems that our business is going to approach or be faced with. I mean, there's always a new system. There's always a new solution to help a customer with that we may have not even, done. And so you have to one, figure out how to do it to begin with, not even thinking about how's the system supposed to be going. So then you can always revisit that. So the one piece of advice is I say, don't stump yourself or don't get overwhelmed. Don't think that has to be a complete priority before you figure something out.
I love that. A lot of people get stuck on the technology. I take a very behind the scene approach because of the overwhelm of the technology, for sure. But sometimes starting with a simple technology, simple solution is always the best. And then you evolve as your business evolve, right?
Absolutely. And that's why you just, revisit it every quarter. And like Sophie said, you evolve. Your systems are going to evolve. So, and that's a good thing. That is absolutely a good thing. So if you find yourself tweaking your systems because you didn't like it the way it does, or, a new challenge has been brought on and you need to tweak that, then look at it. That's a good thing. That means that you're evolving, you're growing personally, you're growing, as a business. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, actually, I'm sure that if I ask the question to every single expert on this series, what tools they use, we would probably have different answers. For launches, for business. So this week I'm going to show you how to create an email list, a freebie, and a quick funnel with free version. It's not the system that I use, but it's a system that I would use if I was just starting my business. Right? And then we evolve. So, for example, I use a system that's called Rule Your Business. Right? And you're probably all thinking like, I have not even ever heard of this. You hear the Asana, the Trello, you hear the ClickFunnels, you'll hear the popular email like Kajabi or Flowdesk. So it's really finding the one that works best for you. One that works best for me is the one that has everything included.
Exactly.
All in one system. Those are my favorite.
Yes, those are nice. So don't think that you have to purchase everything. I mean, I've been doing it for 5 years and I'm still using the free Trello. I'm still using the free Asana because I don't need the Asana itself packs a pretty good punch for the free version. So there's still a lot of things that I would rather use the free version because that's all I need. Now, if a situation arises that, I need what they're offering in the pro, then I'll do it. But don't think that you have to have paid everything just to do your systems properly.
Yes, exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
And I know that you also have a free gift for everybody today. I'm going to drop it off into the comments if you want to let us know a little bit about it.
Yes, it actually is a checklist, how to audit your system on your own. And also I've included a audit review worksheet. So it actually has specific questions that you can answer and get you thinking. So it's a good beginning point to get you going.
And for what? Oh, hold on. There you go. Let's put it on the screen here.
Okay.
So how many minimum number of systems you need And for what purpose? Ouch, that's a tough question to answer.
Yeah, it is. It is because not every business is going to have the same amount as the next one. So I never want to put a number on it. It just depends on how your business operates. So, okay, for me, instance, I am service-based, so I don't have a project system. I don't need one. But if you have a project, a product base company, then you're going to have that, and you may not have services. So there's not really a good number. Okay. So the main ones, I'm always, I'll just tell you, rattle some main ones off. Your onboarding, your offboarding, ordering if you're product based, services if you specifically have your services. How are you getting those out there? So do you have a proposal? Do you have your invoice? That would be a system. Your social media. How do you, what's the system for that? And email marketing. I could just go on and on. So there's not really a number. And if it's a good rule of thumb, if you revisit a system more than one time, you need to create a system for it.
Yeah, I think it depends on where you are in your business as well. So you always start, maybe you start with your social media. It depends on your goals, right? So I am I teach how to grow your audience and how to grow your email list. Is that your goal? Is that something that you're looking into? So you look at what your goals are, and you want to make sure that the system that you're using will help you towards that goal. You don't need every system. Right. You're growing. You'll get new systems. You can start by being organized simply with a Google Drive that is completely free. So it depends. It is a tough question to answer.
Yeah, it is. And everybody's going to be different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions? For Natasha, I'll drop the link again of the freebie. There you go. Yeah, so they have a service. There's a lot of service base. So products or services. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah. There's so many options, and sometimes it's just about thinking outside the box. I use ClickUp, which is the same as Asana or Trello. Same thing, different name.
Yeah. I was just saying, ClickUp. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, so I'm certified and trained into ClickUp, so obviously that's the one I use because it's the one I'm most comfortable with. I mean, I think you could use any. But for a service-based business, if you're providing a service or if you're walking through your clients one-on-one, you can create them a profile into ClickUp and make sure that they grow through the steps and they can ask you questions. It does not have to be complicated. It can be a free Facebook group. It can be, it can be free. I was going to say, until you grow 90% of the time, it can be free. Now you're looking, if you keep I don't know if you've ever done a time audit, Natasha, but if you keep track of where you're spending your time, you can also start with what can save you a lot of time, right? Yes. So that's a good one to do as well. And then you can go from there.
Yep, sure can. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for joiing, Natasha. It was so great to have you. I love systems. Yeah. Sort of a nerd.
I am too.
I love that.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much for joining. We'll chat soon.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so now I want to know, with everything that we've done or learned today, do you have any questions? Now that's your time to drop any question into the chat. We'll go through to the questions, and then I want to jump in to your freebie, your lead magnet, your beginning to grow your email list. A freebie or a lead magnet is simply something that you create in exchange, that you're going to give someone in exchange for growing your email list. You know, it's 2022 is coming. There's a lot of research and a lot of proof in growing your email list and having to sell easier. People are more likely to wanting to be sold in your email list than into your DMs. So growing your email list can exponentially, yeah, so that word right this time, it can see, I jinxed it, but can grow your profit a lot faster. So I want to know into the comments, do you have a freebie? And does it convert well? What does that mean? It means that if you create freebies after freebies after freebies, but nobody wants it, it's not a good freebie. Okay, maybe we want to take a step back into what that lead magnet is, because it, in plain and simple word, is not something that people want. It's not something that your avatar wants. So first, I want to know, do you have a freebie? And if you don't, that's okay. We're going to work on ideas on how to create one. And if you do have one, does it convert well? So let me know into the chat. Now, if you don't have a freebie, I have a few ideas. Okay, so first, if you don't know what to create, I cannot stress this enough. You might be at the market research stage of your business. And it might seem daunting, but if you skip the market research, you're not offering what your people want. You're not using the right words. I don't for my craft business. So you don't have a freebie, Rosie, or you don't have an email list? So just let me know into the chat, because there's definitely a few ideas that come to mind on how we could still grow your email list and be able to email, everyone when you have sales on, some coupons, what's happening, to keep into, popping into the e-box. Okay, you have neither. Now, okay, let me ask you this. So what do you have in the internet world? Do you have a website? Do you sell off things like Shopify or Etsy? Do you have a blog or anything like that, or social media presence? So let me know where you are with that into the comments, and then we can figure out what's the best way for you to start growing your email list. Now, for everybody, if you have something, I haven't figured out what is going to be yet, but Reiki session. Oh, I love that. I love that. Certain rituals. Okay. So, and that's okay if you haven't figured it out yet. So, number one, I would say, if you have not figured it out, talk to people. So if you don't know what your future client wants, you can't give it to it, right? So it's all about having, I was like that, like, listen, 1,000%. I can create freebie. I can create stuff like there's no tomorrow. I can create stuff all day long, but it's not because I think it's a great idea or because it was easy to create that my ideal customer is going to want to take it. And there's so much stuff out there that you really have to work a little harder and to explain to people, to let them know why they want this. Now, because it's such a saturated word, maybe you want to offer something that has a bigger number. For example, 100 ways to grow your email list, or ways to grow your email list to 1,000 in 30 days, or, bring the number up. Now, if you have never created a freebie, it does not have to be complicated. I want you to look at what you have done in the past. YouTube video content all over Facebook, Instagram, your Instagram content, your blog content. I am willing to bet everything that I have that you have created so much free stuff that you can easily turn that into a bomb of a freebie, because you have given so much already, and people love convenience. Do you have blog posts that you could gather all together into a freebie? Do you have a newsletter that you would like people to opt in? Okay, so we're just going to go into the comment chat with Rosie. Okay, so Rosie has a Facebook group for your craft and a like page. That is amazing. So that is what we call social media. Now, social media does not have an SEO, and we're going to talk about that more on, I don't want to say Thursday. Let's say Thursday. Let's go with Thursday with Sharon. We're going to talk about that on Thursday with Sharon. And SEO is the ability to be able to go on things like Google and do a search and you would come up. So that is something that is missing. Now, when you say that you have a Facebook group and a like page, where do people go to purchase your craft? Do you send them, an email with the invoice, or do you use a product like Etsy or Shopify? So let me know in the comments, because by using Etsy and Shopify and things like that, you're able to be looked up. People can look you up better, right? So that would be a start. But things for a freebie to start an email list, what comes to mind would be something like a blog or a newsletter, something that you could be sharing and teaching. Trust me, I have to look up on Pinterest how to do craft with my 3-year-old, because this is literally how crafty I am. And it's still not going to look like it's supposed to. So getting notification all over the place. So don't feel like you don't have anything to offer, because that could not be further from the truth. Now, while we keep chatting here, I want to see your freebies. I want to see what you come up with so that I am able to give you some feedback. So if you are up for a little homework to make sure that you keep accountable, I want to see your freebie. I want you to send them to me either on Facebook or by email at whatif@sophieriley.ca. And I'm going to put that into the comments here. What if, WHATIF, at sophieriley.ca. Because what is part of a good freebie is also, okay, so the first page, are you introducing yourself? Things like that. So we can improve on, okay, so we're just going to chat with Rosie. I get Messenger on Facebook, and I don't have a shop or a website yet. All right, so that could be the next step. Okay, so I don't know if you're signed up for the free workshop. Definitely sign up for it, because I'd love to have a conversation if you're free. The free workshop is actually done on Zoom, because I love talking. I can talk all day, you guys. I'm French. So I'd love to have a chat so we can see where are you exactly into your business, and where can we take that? Where can we maybe bump it up a notch and make it easier for you to get clients. If you're only using your Facebook page, it is fine, and your Facebook group is fine. But we want to make sure that you're bringing in new people. Now, you can also add, put your email address here and start an email. Sorry, I had this conversation in my head. So with your Facebook group, you can have questions when people enter. You can ask them to put their email address so that you can subscribe them to your newsletter. I signed up. That's okay. You know what? I will look. And if you haven't, there is lots of email that comes with a link to sign up. It's going to be next Tuesday, where we are going to really sprint into action and make sure that you have everything that you need to be able to actually grow your list and you don't feel stuck. I don't know why things got so dark all of a sudden. Let's see if I can fix this. All right. So Lindsay, so you would offer some readings. I'd love to know a little bit more about that. Is that like you would sign up for a free one-on-one with you to get some readings? Let me know. I know a little bit about Reiki, so I know there is, correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but a lot of meditating involved, so you can offer maybe a free meditation, or you can offer a newsletter. Do you have any blog posts that you have? I don't know why it's so dark. What happened to my good? That's better. So let me know. But there's so much. But I don't want you to think as to what can I create. I want you to think as to what have I already put out there. Social media is 2% have seen all of your stuff, and then it's sort of disappear, right? It's not like, it doesn't mean that people are going to go back 100 free workshop. Like, could you send? Yeah, of course I will get that while we are chatting. So I want to know, what is everybody's freebie? Let's see here and get you guys the link. Here you go. Secret workshop. Yeah, I'm dropping this here into the comments. Here we go. That is the secret workshop. So this week in the workshops, we are gonna do. I want you guys to actually have a freebie. Okay, we are gonna create a funnel. You guys are gonna be free. I have some steps by step on exactly how to do it all the way to Friday, where I'm gonna help you set up a complete welcome sequence so that you're good to go and you feel good. And on Tuesday, I'm going to give you all the knowledge and the steps that you need to actually get people to sign up to your freebie. So it's going to be amazing. So I want to see some freebies into my inbox tonight and tomorrow. Now, a few tips on your freebie. So who here loves Canva, uses Canva? You can create things like there's no tomorrow, right? So you can create a quick workbook, a PDF. You can create an Excel spreadsheet, so much. But an optimal freebie, you want to have an about you section. So at the beginning of your freebie, who are you? It does not have to be complicated. Don't go and use a whole bunch of big words that nobody understands. Make it sweet and short and clear and to the point. Because if you come to me, little Frenchie here, and my English is pretty basic. It's pretty good. It's pretty basic. If you get some big words out there, I'm just going to look at you like a deer light. Is that what the expression is? I'm not sure. But I'm going to look at you a little confused because I'm not going to understand, and you don't want to create confusion, right? So there needs to be a short, sweet, to the point about you section, and there needs to be a how can we work together? Do you have product to sell? Make sure that they know that and they know where to go look for it. Do you have services? How do you sell those services? Is it through booking, sales calls? That's okay. Then you want to make sure that there is an actual, really good call to action to the end. It's not a sales pitch, but they need to know if they want to work together, how can they work with you? All right. So Rosie says you have Canva. Yeah, Canva is totally free. You have not used it for a while. So just start thinking maybe what can you create that would be useful for your audience. And then we can go from there, because maybe you don't even need to create something into Canva, right? So it could be as simple as a DIY how to post for some things into a nice PDF or a video. It does not have to be overcomplicated. So I really want you to think as to how can I make this simple, because my entire goal this week is for you to actually get things done. And I know that using system that we are not comfortable in using does not get us to your goals. So let me know if you have any other questions. Whoa, I thought my notifications were off, but I guess not. All right, so let me know. We're just about to wrap things up here. I want to see all of your freebies into my inbox. I'm going to send you guys some feedback so we can keep moving forward, and we'll be back at it with this workshop on Wednesday. Wednesday, I think. I have a lot of surprises for everybody, so that's going to be really, really fun. So let me know in the comments if you're good to go, if you have any other questions. And I cannot wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be more of a marketing. Okay, so we're going to get into all of the marketing strategies that you can implement into your launch. And again, it's finding the right strategies for you. I don't see any other comments. So I am super excited. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited for every single one of you to launch and create that momentum, the rest of 2021 and in 2022. It's going to be epic. So I'm super excited. You guys reach out to me on the Facebook group or through emails if there's any questions at all. And I will chat with everybody tomorrow. You are so welcome. Okay, we'll chat with you tomorrow.